Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. HappyCattyCrypto here, and we're jumping straight into this one. It's pretty obvious right now as to the stable reality behind our blockchain, and I think what has happened over a course of time is we've been lied to, and we've been lied to in a manner that makes us believe TFL are going to discontinue all support at any moment, and it could all be ripped out from underneath us. And I always believe this just wasn't the case. It doesn't make any sense to me for that to happen. It just absolutely doesn't. And the way that the TFL team looks to be at Cosmos first, it's the idea of not building in a vacuum, not building in a funnel, and not limiting your application to just simply one chain. This is supposed to be for the Cosmos. So let's take a look at V3. What is V3? Why is everybody talking about V3, V.25? What it is, next month, there's a big update coming for our chain and the mainnet. Yes, our chain. And I can confirm this to you, the community, through a connection that I've managed to make. That support is going to continue for our blockchain being Columbus 5 in V3, and that support being full with swapping and everything like that. This is really good. The reason why this is really good to get something like this confirmed, it goes against everything we've been told and what we've been led to believe, right? That they don't like us, they don't want to know us, this, that, and the other. But what I can confirm, like I said to you folks, the community, is in V3, which is what you're seeing here now on my screen, we are going to be part of that. Support is going to continue. And if I look at other chains like Shiba Inu, how many people use their native wallet? A very, very small amount of people who utilize their stuff, use their wallet in comparison to all of the other wallets that they've got access to. It's one of those things where I think we've been led to believe we have to have all of these own things, and it's a very interesting time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of this Cosmos first clip for you to get acquainted with V3 and the way that TFL are portraying this whole situation, so to speak. So what you're seeing here is not what the app's going to look like, it being 4 pages like this. This is just them showing you the wallet page, my wallet page, the swap, and the staked asset. So let's have a little listen and we'll bring you straight back to me.
Into the applications. I think if you're familiar with Terra, you're familiar with Station. This is our flagship product at this point. People loved it. It was one of the most popular applications in the last bull market. I would say one of the either number 2 or number 3 most used wallets behind MetaMask. It was beautiful. It worked. That was V1. In V2, we launched a cross-chain version of this, and it was awful. I couldn't use it. If you loved V1, you hated V2. That's just a fact. But we learned a lot about cross-chain, and we've been taking those learnings, and we're putting those learnings into Station V3. And if you love Station V1, you're going to love Station V3. It takes everything you loved about the original version of Station. It's beautiful. It's intuitive. It abstracts away everything you need it to abstract, and it applies it to cross-chain. We're really excited to get this out. Beyond next year, this thing is going to be the portal for consumers using all of our applications. It will be much more than a web wallet. But for now, we think we're going to have one of the best wallets on the market out, and that version 3 will be out in the next couple of months.
So from what I know, V3 is coming mid-November. It could come a little bit later. It could come a little bit earlier. But what I do know is what I know. And the information that I get, I try to do what I've always done since I've started this channel is don't rely on middlemen. Go try and get it from the horse's mouth as best as you can. Remove all of those voices in between where, you can kind of get Chinese whispered. But one key thing to note is that Chris is stating consumers. Okay, it's cross-chain. It's not about building this just for the Luna community. It's actually about bringing all of the chains together onto one flagship product, which is going to be V3. And like Chris said, so from what I understand, Chris doesn't have the best kind of technical understanding of certain things, but he understands what he needs to understand. But the fact that he's outright stated he hated, V2, and V3 is everything that he hated removed plus something better, it's definitely something to take note of. And the reason why I'm showing you this and getting you acquainted with V3 and the way that this is heading is we are supported moving forward, and the support is full. And it's so important we understand that they're not the enemy and we're not their enemy. And ultimately, we can all work together. We can bring this whole thing together and we can rise as one. Everybody's seen our prices move in sync, whether it be USTC, LUNC, and Luna. They all do the same thing, regardless. They're dragged up by one another. They're dragged down by one another. We are all in each other's back gardens at this point. So the V2.5 upgrade signals renewed bullish momentum. This is really good because we're part of this whole system. We're Columbus 5, they're Phoenix 1 mainnet. The station the majority of you use, which I've got on front of the screen now, comes from TFL. This is station.money. All the links to this are out there. You can go and grab this. This is the most reliable product out there, even down to the themes for me. I always rely on this. It rarely goes wrong. And anytime it has gone wrong, it's not actually from TFL. It's always been from these block changing and block state breaking situations that, you know, these development teams have led us, what I think, down paths that we didn't really need to go down. As it stands right now, we're a chain that really needs to utilize what we've got around us and not sit there and go, well, let's spend loads of money just doing this and we already had this. And there's no balance, there's no heading, and we're just sort of like running on the spot. We wanted all of this months ago, right? We didn't get it. So what have I done? I've gone and tried to source what I did with all nodes. Ask them, what are you providing? What are you doing? And is that going to continue? I get my answers and then I move from that. And that's kind of what I've done here. I've gone and asked if support is going to be continued for our blockchain being Columbus 5 on the new station. And the answer is yes. You know, this is huge for us as a community that we're being made part of every single little update that TFL seems to be putting out recently. And we need to harness this as best as we can. If we're getting free endpoint infrastructure from people like Allnodes, we can get this from TFL as well through Foundation, by the way. That's 2 endpoint providers. Wallet infrastructures here is being provided. What we have right now is something a lot of chains have to pay a lot of money out for. We've just seen us pay out nearly $2.4 million in funding, right? And what does this chain have from that funding? Nothing. We're still using TFL's flagship product because it's what we trust, it's what we know, and it's what we're part of. There's a whole reason why you can flick between the mainnet and the classic net within a click of a fingers. It's that easy. And what's going to happen in the next update, what you're going to be able to do is actually flick between loads of these different chains. You'll be able to drop these down and you'll be able to flick between all of these different chains. You'll be able to jump between, create a custom LCD, do all of these different things, right? And ultimately, it's not a privatized situation where we've got to keep paying for this thing. What we could do is embrace this technology, make ourselves one and harness what's around us, work with people like TFL to understand better what is actually readily available. Whereas time and time again, we're led to believe they don't want to know us, they've got nothing for us, they hate us, we're the enemy, and they're going to end all support. And that's not the case. That's not the case. Otherwise, support would not continue with V3. They would just get rid of us. We would have been long gone by now. So I think it's high time we all wake up, we understand what's there, and we utilize what is free, what we have currently done. And the thing is, right, the majority of the big validators on chain are part of the TFL Luna community and they're interwoven. If you bring this chain into that circle, we fully embrace what's going on. We look at Foundation, we look at labor market, and we say, hey, we want a bit of this. Launch over here, show them support, show them that we're a mature community that has woken up. We see what's readily available. We see who's bailing water out. We see who's bailing water in. We see who's drilling holes. We want to be part of everything moving forward. And this is what I'm going to continue to push for, because currently the L1 team, what can we really say at this point? It's, they don't help their own case, and it really does brew down to that kind of thing. Whereas what we see right now with TFL at Cosmosverse is a solution to almost every issue on our chain. So for example, right, We're getting the free infrastructure support through V3, confirmed. We've got free endpoint infrastructure through all nodes, confirmed. We can also get this through TFL for $2,000. $2,000 for free endpoint infrastructure moving forward with those who are providing our wallet infrastructure. So guess what? The technology already likes one another. It's already synced in together. It's already better all round. What we need to do right now as a community, as a blockchain, right, is get together a team, like I've been saying for a while, a dream team. And we need to start to focus on all of these different things, like the burn tax, the tax, all of these ins and outs, you know, really start to work on things and start, instead of trying to like worm our way every time, because it's not fair on us as a community. We always wanted to get away from it all, and all we've done is just get into the arms of another community that is trying to more or less privatize and profit from our blockchain, and we get absolutely nothing in return. This is all just totally different now. It feels different, and there's good incentives pushing everything around. So there's a lot of people who are saying at the moment, you know, oh, the swaps don't work, the swaps don't work, the swaps don't work. Go to this. I'm going to leave a link to this. This is TerraSwap. This is the website. You can do anything you need to do on here swapping wise. It's there. It's available. What's going to be happening mid-November with this update, where we do get this absolutely insane V3 level support, we're going to be in a far better position where we can just focus on possibly starting to do what not what TFL do, but what Luna do, where they pay grants out to DApps that want to develop, games that want to develop, actually trying to get things on this chain moving, because we're all in a sticky situation. It's pretty obvious right now that every single project that launched on this chain launched at a time when the price was 15x higher. Well, guess what? The price is 15x lower. Right? It's not getting any easier for the validators on this chain, for the projects on this chain, for even you, the community who are part of this chain. Nothing's getting easier, and that just shouldn't be the case. It should be getting easier. We should be working on all of these different ins and outs of what we can and can't do, what we have and what we don't have. The difference is, right, we've never had a person who's willing to leave their ego at the door and just simply go, these people are smarter than me. They're actually providing support moving forward. Maybe we could harness our everything. You know, there's $2.4 million in funding could have got every single metaverse that's on our chain currently building to a state of where it's an actual playable build, right? And that's a big thing. The fact that we could have paid that out and we would have got more from that than we've got from paying $2.4 million out in funding for what? For somebody to walk off, rebrand, to start creating validators on another chain. I get it, but at the same time, right, we funded that. And that's what it brews down to. Whereas this is not going to happen anymore. It's going to stop. We don't need to keep funding these privatized wallets over and over and over again. Jesus, if it gets that bad, we can all use Trust Wallet. We can use CXs. We can use DEX. There's so many listings for our coin. It's unfathomable. We have nowhere to get listed at this point. People, you know, get listed on Robinhood. That's about as far as we can go and get listed, because we are listed everywhere. We have the listings, we have the support, we have the strength, and we have the unity. We must move forward as one with TFL together as a community. I'm really looking forward to V3 landing, and everything I've said here today being 100% evident with that support in V3 and everybody going, oh, once again, you know, he has brought us good information and the information is accurate. It's so important we stop building in a vacuum. Folks, I'm going to leave it on that. Stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.